I think people had enough of technical gyan today, so trust me, I'm not going to talk too much of technical. I don't know technical at all. Though I started my journey writing codes and everything, I recently did my research in Gen AI application in power industry. I'm about to get my doctorate in a couple of weeks' time, but still I'm not going to speak anything technical. But before I go there, it's very important to recap because I happened to attend a couple of sessions in between, and last two sessions from Ravi and Kiran, right? It was great. I was just hearing them and I was absorbing all the technical knowledge or jargons, jo bhi bolo aap sir. I was just embedding it in myself. And then I was thinking myself, because I call myself as an agent and the agent which marries technology and business. And that's my role. That's what I'm being paid for at Aprava. All right? And then let me share one of my personal experience of my interview. So when I worked 23 years in a chemical industry, based out of US. And when I was joining this organization, this gentleman was a European guy called Malcolm Wrigley. And he's like, Shabir, you worked 23 years in a chemical industry, you are moving to a power industry. And I said, Malcolm, technology is technology. तुम मुझे FMCG में डालो, power में डालो. I am an agent, I can marry technology with business. So that's my core. So before that, a quick recap. I think there's enough of data science and Gen AI, all these things spoken. I'll not really read out because I've actually done a copy paste. I'm a smart guy. I did not want to spend much time in making the decks and everything. But this is pure copy paste from Wikipedia. What is data science? I don't want to spend time. But yeah, this is important. And why it's important is because I personally feel data science is the most critical and important element for any technologies or the evolving technologies which are coming, whether it's AI, Gen AI, which was there in existing, but there was some disruptor who came in and he started changing the entire landscape. All right. So what really happens there in the back end? I think Kiran spoke about a lot of data cell elements. They said we are using chatbots, then we started using LLMs. That's where data science also is coming in is playing the role. All right. So if you look at the couple of things, though I have said, and why I wrote finance, health, and marketing, because that's where it is more evident. If I speak much about my industry, probably you guys will not understand because that goes a bit technical. But I will try and spend some time on that in explaining you how we at Aprava are trying to do or transforming energy. And I'm personally contributing the way to the government authority, especially the Central Electricity Authority, in terms of drafting a lot of policies around the power industry for the India. So that's it. This is, I don't need to see this one also. But yes, this is, I was hearing one of the speech from one of the guy that automation in the automobile industry. And he mentioned one thing. There was a question asked by one gentleman about a recent incident or one of the Tata Sons director. He passed away in the road incident. And he said, he's not sure, but I have an answer for that. And that's the best gut answer. The reason is very important is because, when you talk of anything, you need to have a good infrastructure. And when we talk of Gen AI, when we talk of AI, when we talk of LLM, when we talk of any technology, if you do not have a good infrastructure, no matter which technology you bring in, it is not going to survive. The adoption and the right infrastructure is very, very critical. And that's where, the lot of organizations in India, e-commerce like Meesho, what he spoke, Morningstar, individually, they are in a position to bring in that value using the various technologies, but not really the people or the other industry segments. They are in a position to bring value only into their basic operations things, all right? So yeah, this is some differences. I can leave this slide back with this, guys. Anybody wants to have it. We speak about a lot of things, what is AI and what is data science. It's quite different, but a lot of time people interpret, even when I speak to a couple of folks within the industry or a lot of other business stakeholders in other forums where I speak, लोग आज भी business intelligence को है ना data science और AI बोलने लगे. So it's very strange. So that awareness also is important. It's very, very important where the technology people start playing the role of only marrying the technology with the business, and all the business users also start understanding technology well. All right. So this is just on the machine learning. I think Kiran spoke in depth about machine learning. What example it does it, like Facebook is a classic example of machine learning technology. Then business intelligence, I was just telling you a while back, where they just pull the data from somewhere and do some analytics, and they say, no, this is this thing. But trust me, we have all heard these things quite a few places. Why, from a lot of people, that data is the new oil. It was already in oil. People were not leveraging the power of data. Just imagine the way the disruptors came and people have started leveraging the data. But as an Indian continent, are we really leveraging completely? I would say, we are getting there, but this is still long way to go. Trust me, guys. And I really look forward for people like you to become entrepreneurs, take this lead forward and build a nation. We all have to do that together. So if you look at the data science, it is much, much larger. This is just a depiction, whether you talk of deep learning, machine learning, AI, Gen AI, data science is the most critical element. अगर वो सही रहा, बाकी सब सही हो जाएगा. All right? So this is, I'm sure you guys know better than me. You guys are youngsters. I've done this out of my research, all these things, but y'all would know better terminologies than what I put here. What are the techniques used in data science? What are the techniques used in AI? All these things. So what is the approach in data science? It's very important, and what I was trying to tell a while back is the second portion, the data cleaning. The data cleaning. Because, at any place, if your data is not clean, it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you're looking at any AI, Gen AI, or any other applications to be built in, like when Ravi was saying, when he was mentioning about that portfolio generation, that classic use case, and I was really enjoying it, because they have defined the right data set. They could define that investment portfolio. Is that my understanding correct, sir? You are a CTO, you know better than me, but that's where it is, because the data was structured. And trust me, at the end, that message was very important. There is a lot of hype in the market. AI job लेके जाएगा, Gen AI job नहीं लेके जाएगा, sir. किसी का job नहीं जाएगा. You have to change with time. If people don't change with time, people like me wouldn't have been standing here. I graduated out of management, and then I did some technology, and I entered into technology background. All right? It's only thing, you have to keep yourself abreast with the technology. Look at the way when, I wouldn't use the terms of computers, but I'll still go in the back age. When initially the automobiles industries came in, slowly the people who were traveling by bullock carts and everything, they felt ये सब का काम चला जाएगा, but they adapted with the change. So unless you do not change with time, it is difficult for survival. So if you want to be with the time, if you be with the time, no technology can take away the job. Because in his case study also, in the last, after the entire investment portfolio, there was still a human touch which was required. So any Gen AI platform also, if you look at ChatGPT or the Gemini or Copilot, which we use extensively within our organization with all of our O365, that it is Outlook, because it simplifies my job. My team did entire appraisal this year using ChatGPT and Copilot without realizing that I would not understand. Because वो अचानक उनकी इंग्लिश से जो अंग्रेजी अच्छी हो जाती है ना, तो पता चल जाता है कि चैट जीपीटी ने किसी जेन एआई ने लिखा है. वो सडनली अंग्रेजी अच्छी हो जाती है तो कहीं ना कहीं डाउट आता है. So that's what it is, But at the end of the day, look at the way, unless that human touch is very, very important. All right, I think this is almost the same thing I spoke. I'm going to spend some time on the slides which are coming up. This is just a recap of whatever you guys have been doing since last third day, and I'm the last man in here trying to speak on a couple of things. Focus on applications, okay? This is the purpose, what is AI, purpose of data science, what is the purpose of data intelligence, okay? AI we all know because it's been extensively used in one of the places I was slightly disappointed when one of the panelists, she said, why do we look always upon the West? And I was like disappointed. And I said, no, it's wrong. We are changing. West is looking upon us. Look at the way the Indians are leading the show now today. And that's where precisely a lot of Indian startups are actually giving a lot of values within the country and outside also. So that's where the complete shift in the dimension is happening. Look at the way Satya, I happened to meet him once in Microsoft World AI Tour. And look at the way, he's such a super guy. The way, he's transformed the entire Microsoft. He's turned Microsoft into a big revenue business. So, हम देसी काफी आगे है, sir. All right, data-centric versus intelligence-centric decision. What I'm trying to drive here is same. Oh, all right. Probably it was reversed, yes, I was just getting confused. All right, so data science is basically, it gains an insight in making data-driven decision, because if you have the right data to speak and all this thing, that decision, the power of data will come out. Okay, right in the morning session also, where somebody was speaking, that they could bring in that value because they had that right data and they had structured their data. A challenge with a lot of organizations, and of course it was with our organization also, where we did not have the data in a very structured approach, because people were not realizing the importance of data. वो ERP install कर दिया, implement हो गया है, finance reconciliation हो रहा है, बहुत हो गया. They were not really looking at the market intelligence. They were not really looking at the data, what it is there. All right, so that's where I'm trying to emphasize on this slide. Okay, where this is used mainly, I think, while this is based on my recent research work, where I was just trying to understand the differences. This is the slide where I picked up from. I'll quickly skip this slide. I want to spend some time on some other sites. Okay, this is data science applications. Yeah, this we can spend some time on this slide. People may feel, I've seen that, especially in the health industry, when you try and go and speak to some doctors or some pharma CTOs and all this thing, sometimes there's a misconception within the leadership within pharma itself, whether it's a data science which is giving their output or the AI which is giving an output. All right. So if you look at this analyzing patient data, your AI will give a type of things. Like, say, let's take the first example, analyzing the patient data. If you look at the analysis of the patient data, probably it will say that this is the analysis within this region, that these are the type of diseases very common amongst this set of people, this age of people and all this thing. But where AI and Gen AI comes into the picture is where it comes across and brings it the value from other states, other countries, and sort of gives some analysis how this can be controlled. That's where the real intelligence comes, but not in giving the output. Okay. I want to spend some time specific on the power industry, because it will be interesting, though I have not written full of the things. I'll quickly skip this slide. Or maybe required will. Are my slides missing? All right, energy management. Now, and when I will speak, probably you will say, oh, ye to hona chahiye tha. Now, look at the way the power industries are transforming day by day. The Indian power industry is completely getting transformed, thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister also, in the recently held COP summit also, where he committed for carbon zero by 2070. And the big pressure is specifically on, of course, on all the industry, but there's a high amount of pressure on the power industry, and in setting up a lot of renewable sites and all these things. Now, where it is bringing value. Now, let me use one of the example where we brought value at Apraava. So the model of our business is we generate electricity, we sell it to the government. We are not selling it to any consumer. I'm not sure we have a plant in Karnataka or not. I think we have one. If I'll go and check back the name, because I'm mainly sitting out of the headquarters, so I don't go much to the plants. But where we brought value is, we have power which is generated from wind. You see various winds side. We have power which is generated through solar. We have power which is generated through coal. So intentional decision or a strategic decision, we did not take coal into consideration because that creates a lot of carbon footprint rather than reducing the carbon footprint. But our focus is more on the renewable sources. Now what we have done is all my power which is getting generated is getting collected by SCADAs. I don't know if you guys know SCADA and all this thing, that SCADA collects the data. There's an analysis which happens. But what is differently what we're doing? That's the common which everybody is doing. Is my wind generating the right power? Looking at the wind intensity, that can be an algorithm. But is this still sufficient? No. Then what is the weather condition? How is my GIS data being used in all this thing? So we try and incorporate all those data to see how best we can optimize our power generation and do a predictive maintenance. Now, when we come to the, the wind sites, the blades are quite huge. When you look from a distance, they look so miniature. But actually, one blade is quite huge, and you can actually go up. It's like a mountain when you go up to the wind sites. So for us in the industry, it's very important that we do a timely execution for the projects, because the way this industry works is we have to bid with the government authorities and then we sort of win the project. And it is timely execution. If you do not ensure that if you do not give the power by that time back to the government authorities, we are penalized. So how and what is the difference we did which brought us a lot of value was, in the sense is like, we use predictive analytics of using the weather conditions, using the road conditions, using the VSAT connections. So we incorporate all those things, which helped us in ensuring that if you go to Apraava's LinkedIn page, you will see recently we commissioned a site in Sidhpur. And this is where it was really getting late. And then I said with the project management team, where are the challenges? Okay, these things are not, the logistics is getting hampered. So let's make use of the technology, how technology can help here. So that's where, I became an agent of marrying technology and business challenges, and we started bringing that value. And we could, bring the turnaround on time. Today, we are in a position to give the leadership the real-time visibility as to, भैया मेरे wind का चक्की इतना line से लगने वाला, कितना लगा, कितना नहीं लगा. They get all those things visibly right at one single fingertip. All right, so that's the whole purpose. Now, when we started using the predictive analytics, using AI and ML and different sites where we are doing, where the wind intensity is there, we look at the various weather conditions, we started generating more power, and we started building projects on time. So that's where I thought I'll spend some time, if it may help you guys in taking some key takeaway. All right. And then this is a waste management slide. Let me go there. The other thing which we are in the process of doing is we ventured into a new business called smart metering. Quite a few places now the traditional meters are getting replaced by smart meters. Apraava is one of the bidders, and we bid with the likes of Adani's and all the big players in the market. So we compete with them. And we have won quite a few bids in that one, especially in Gujarat and other states also. But what is that different we are doing it? So how are we bringing that value to the business? So this is something which is under the development, but it's good that I share with you. Now look at the power consumption, which we all have it in a day. So the thing which we are all working on is, okay, this is your house, your refrigerator. We're just trying to map the IoT, the ML, the predictive analytics of all the elements of those particular things. Like say, for example, your billing cycle for this month has gone high, and your air conditioner has consumed this much, your refrigerator has consumed this much, your geyser is consuming this much. So all those parameters we are trying to track, and this is WIP, so it's still not in production. And we're just trying to make this an app. So you bring in control right on your handheld. So we're just building an app where, you can just say, okay, guys, this is where I need to control my power. Can I shut down this AC in this time? This is the power which I will save. It is not about only saying कि भैया 2 घंटा AC चलाएंगे बंद कर देंगे power कम आएगा. कितना कम आएगा, that analytics we are giving out of this intelligence. Okay, so that is a WIP which I thought I'll share with you guys. Okay, this is waste management. This I was talking to one of our colleagues, and this is I thought of putting it here. How the smart waste bins are getting evolved and all these things. So it brings in that, easy turnaround time in cleaning, improving waste management efficiency. Then this is the classic example once again. And the reason I use this slide is somewhat similar to what I was talking a while back. Is in business, it can optimize, increase efficiency, provide valuable insights for better decision making. And the whole purpose is to ensure that the power of data is used for making the, for us as an individual, we need on our handle all the controls. So, so that's where it is. I think I spoke on jobs also. AI is creating a lot of jobs, guys. There's a lot of demand in the market. I think Ravi told that some programming, you said if somebody knows, please connect back with him. So, there's a lot of potential back in the market. The fear is for a lot of people who do not want to change. I keep telling that change management is an old jargon what people feel, but trust me, it is very, very critical. And if it is not managed well, it becomes extremely difficult. All right, so this is one of the example how, in AI, if you look at the robots are doing this versus a human, how it is doing it. All right, so that's my final slide. I think I have enough time left. I intentionally, ran through a couple of slides because it would have been repetitive for quite a few things which was going on since last couple of days. So I quickly ran through the slides. So open for any questions if you guys have it. Yes, can. I was expecting one from you, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you can expand on the waste management part.
Sure.
That's a huge.
So though I have not handled it, this is the input which I took it from someone. I don't know if it is, so they are looking at we have this waste bins and all that stuff. So there are sensors. So once the waste bin is coming to a particular level of the filling in, it sends an alert automatically back to their central station that this particular waste bin needs to be, taken up immediately. So that's the whole game around there. Rather than, it reduces a lot of cost of the truck going there, picking up the garbage every day. Of course, as I told you, the infrastructure in India, though it's a mandate that wet waste and the dry waste has to be separated, but I think hardly 20 to 30% people are following, but still people are not following. Wherein if you look at the other countries, it is very stringent, and especially in countries like China, where I happen to be spending 2 years, it's very, 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 very stringent there. And that brings me to one more thing. Especially when I was in China and Shanghai, there are a lot of places how the way logistics are working. I don't know. I've never seen this in India, but I'm sure it is going to come. Like say, for example, if you're ordering something near every big corporates or any or a bundle of apartments and everything, people are not going door to door. So there are a sort of electric lockers kept at places, and there are digital lockers. And when your parcel arrives they just open that digital locker, they put in that, and they say the alert goes back to the person whose things are there. He just goes and collects it. So they don't have to bang the doors and go at each places. So at one place, like उस building में अगर 10 parcel देना है, वो 10 minute की जगह 10 second में he can finish it off. So this is personally things which I've seen it. So hence I keep telling, with due respect to our infrastructure, I think which is getting evolved, we still long way to go. हम जुगाड़ू है, वो लोग काफी creative है, but we'll be there. We'll be there. Yep. Waiting for you. And I was looking around for you. I know. I intentionally scanned through a few slides because there was a lot of repetition of things which has happened. So I just try to focus on my own industry as to what we are doing it.
Makes sense. You save time, sir. I'll save some time as well.
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who has questions? We have our volunteers with the mics. Just raise your hands.
Ravi had one question which I answered.
Anybody with any questions? Check one.
Everybody's
Yes,
waiting
we have
for
one question there in a blue shirt.
I
Can
think
we get the
people
mic to
are
him?
Waiting for the next show. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry. So I have. So I think it is to do with the data reporting part. I don't know if it is really relevant to this, but let's say like I'm a company who is reporting emissions in scope 2,
Mm-hmm.
while since you are producing energy with the sustainable sources, right? Are you reporting it back saying like this is I don't know the difference, but if I'm reporting as emission which actually came from sustainable, you see that reporting loop it's somewhere missing. I'm like, if you can explain on
So
that.
what happens is it gets net off. Like say for example in Apraava, and hence I said, we are focusing more on the renewable thing. And we are reporting on scope 3, by the way. We're not reporting on scope 2. So what happens is, we are, though we are signatories for a couple of scopes, and we were the first company to sign, I forget the term, especially in the ESG term, but we were one of the first organization to sign, and after us, Tata Power signed it. And we are very, very particular about that. Hence, we are looking at divesting our thermal business, which is a lot of emitting a carbon footprint. But today, as the current scenario, we do a net off between our carbon producing business and the non-carbon producing business.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But one follow-up question actually. So what? I'm like, are you reporting that data back to the consumer?
We
saying-
have to report.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
We don't have choice.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
We don't have choice. In fact, we have invested in technologies of that, what we call it, the benzene floating, because when the carbon is burned, so we have invested a huge amount of money, and that has saved us in reducing quite a few carbon footprint, though being a thermal plant. I think we are the only company who's done a lot of water waste management also within that region. Of course, when we look from the global comparison perspective, we still get hit hard. But when we look from the Indian perspective, we are one of the best. And hence, when we do our reporting, we use the global benchmark rather than the Indian benchmark. That's where our scoring are still getting down. But it is important to be reported.
Any other questions? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last session. Last chance to ask questions. Any other raise of hands? All right, with that, we come to an end of the final session of MLDS 2025. Mr. Shabir Badra, can we
Thank
have a
you.
huge round of applause for Shabir sir, please?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Shabir sir, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.